ask questions because I'll do Q&A. You ask me a question about friends.
Is that a real cake?
About friends?
Because we tried to eat it on practice.
Correct.
Wait, did you say questions about friends?
Yeah.
Like what kind of questions?
About friends, boundaries. Just ask them pertaining to the thing because I listen to it.
So you're a Christian guy.
Yeah.
So if you were to get into a relationship with a girl, what are some of the boundaries that you would set up, or what are some of the things you would talk about?
I would never do anything with her that I wouldn't do with a sister or a mother. That's the number one boundary. Because one, if you get in a relationship with someone, it's like sticking together with something. And the thing is, when you stick things together, like, what happens when you pull them apart? Does it stick back together very well? Or stick to the next thing very well? No, that's one thing. Two, I think you all know this, where if someone walks away from a relationship, it's really painful. Mm-hmm. So if you're not gonna stick in it for the long run, there's no point in sticking in it at all. So that's a very good boundary. So, and then three, if you're ever gonna plan to get in a relationship, you should have standards. Because if you're not, you're just only putting yourself down. And the other person, you're gonna let the other person down too. So like one standard that I would ever have for a girlfriend is, do they love God more than me? Because if they don't, and it's like, oh, the other person loves me more than they love God, then they're idolizing me, and that's gonna make me really uncomfortable, because if you don't make God number one, first and foremost, then it's like, I don't know, it's just that's how you get life, you know, the other person's not gonna save you. Think about it this way too. In all marriages, they eventually end, except for the one marriage that never ends, which is the marriage between church and Jesus, right? Church and God. That's the one marriage that will never end. It'll never leave you or forsake you. However, even the most loving marriage between two humans, a husband and a wife, one of them is going to pass away before the other, and it's till death do us part. That's the one thing. So, yeah, that's the one. I'm going to finish. So even as much as you love your parent, as much as you love your best friend or something like that, that'll eventually go away, but the one marriage that won't is between you and God. So you can't put faith and trust and hope in that your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your whatever is going to save you, because it won't. But God will. And that's why God should come first. And then if my spouse or partner doesn't love God more than me, red flag. I think that's an Instagram thing. Red flag. Because it's like, well, then why? What's the point in that? It's unequal in terms of who's doing what, and it's not going to go out well. Katie, you have a question?
Yes. So like, if you meet your like wife or husband in heaven, do you have to get remarried, or are you still married?
Oh man, Jesus has got some great answers for that one. I think in the Bible, this is what Jesus talks about. Is he goes, John, you probably know the theology more than me. You are allowed to be divorced should there be abuse, should there be sexual immorality outside the marriage. So if your husband's cheating on you, or if your wife's cheating on you.
What if they were married and then one died, and then they see each other in heaven once the other one dies? And like, are they still married, or do they have to get married again?
So there's a very good Bible verse that Jesus talks about, that once you're in heaven, that all like marriages or anything like that, it goes away. It's all about being married to God. Because here's the reason why. Again, marriage here on earth is a representation of the bond between God and the church, right? About Jesus laying his life down for the church, and about the church being subservient and being subservient unto Jesus. Once you're in heaven, all that stuff doesn't matter, because that symbolism doesn't matter. What it's all about is between you and God. Okay. And there's going to be tons of other people there too. But the point is, it's a relationship between the creator of everything and you. So any marriage or anything, any like friendship or anything at all, it won't like pale in comparison.